MELES Part 4. The Mind, Vision, and Developmental Legacy of an African Leader by Haile A. Shishaye. 21. The Great Lesson: Never build a country around one man. If MELES' story teaches anything, it is that leadership matters enormously. But institutions matter even more. A great leader should build institutions that remain strong after he is gone. He should train successors. He should build independent institutions. He should encourage intellectual debate. He should create mechanisms for peaceful political competition. He should ensure that national development does not depend entirely on one personality. The ultimate test of leadership is not, what did you achieve while you were alive? It is, what continues to work after you are gone. Number 22. Why today's African youth should study MELES. Young Africans should not study MELES merely because he was a former Ethiopian prime minister. They should study him because he demonstrated several qualities that Africa desperately needs. 1. Intellectual curiosity. He studied problems deeply. 2. Strategic thinking. He looked beyond immediate political events. 3. Long-term planning. He thought in decades rather than weeks. 4. Discipline. He was known for his intense work ethic and commitment to policy. 5. Economic understanding. He understood that political independence without economic transformation leaves countries vulnerable. 6. International diplomacy. He understood that African interests must be defended at the global negotiating table. 7. Infrastructure vision. He understood the relationship between infrastructure and economic transformation. 8. Human capital development. He understood that education and health are economic investments. 9. African agency. He believed Africans should develop their own intellectual approaches to development. 10. Courage to think differently. He was willing to challenge conventional economic wisdom. Number 23. The message to the African youth. Young Africans, do not wait for someone to rescue Africa. Do not spend your life complaining about your country. Do not make ethnicity your only identity. Do not confuse social media popularity with leadership. Do not believe that intelligence means having all the answers. Intelligence means asking better questions. Study, read, research, travel, learn science, learn technology, learn economics, learn history, learn diplomacy, learn agriculture, learn engineering, learn artificial intelligence, learn how governments work, learn how economies work, learn how institutions work, and above all, learn how to solve problems. Number 24, the MELES lesson for Ethiopia. Ethiopia has enormous challenges, but it also possesses enormous potential. A country of more than 100 million people cannot afford mediocre leadership. It needs leaders who can think beyond the next election. It needs scientists, engineers, economists, doctors, farmers, entrepreneurs, teachers, researchers, journalists, diplomats, policymakers, and above all, it needs young people who understand that leadership is a responsibility, not a privilege. The next generation should not try to become another MELES. They should become something better. The generation that learns from MELES' strengths, corrects his weaknesses, and builds institutions stronger than any individual leader. Number 25, the MELES standard. If we were to reduce the most valuable lessons from MELES' career to a single leadership formula, it might look like this. Think deeply, plan long-term, understand your economy, invest in people, build infrastructure, protect national interests, negotiate internationally, study before deciding. Do not fear difficult problems, and never stop learning. But add one more principle. Never sacrifice justice and human dignity in the name of development. That is the lesson that history demands from the next generation. Number 26, the final message. MELES ZENAWI is now part of history. His supporters remember a visionary. His opponents remember an authoritarian ruler. Economists study his developmental model. Political scientists study his state-building strategy. African leaders remember his role on the continental stage. Historians will continue debating his legacy for generations. And perhaps that is exactly what should happen. Because great historical figures should not simply be remembered. They should be studied. Their achievements should be understood. Their mistakes should be understood. Their ideas should be tested. Their failures should become lessons, and their successes should become foundations for something better. End of part 4. Part 5 is the closing motivational speech, the emotional climax of the documentary.